Most of us walk around feeling like passengers trapped inside a biological machine. We look out through our eyes, as if peering through the windows of a vehicle, navigating a chaotic external world that exists entirely separate from us. The ancient Vedic and Hermetic traditions claimed that everything in the universe is actually within you. To the modern ear, that sounds like a piece of poetic fluff printed on a greeting card. They did not mean that you have physically swallowed the Milky Way, or that gas giants are literally floating behind your ribs. Rather, in cutting-edge neuroscience, in theoretical physics, and clinical psychology are arriving at the exact same conclusion. The solid wall between in here and out there is an illusion. The cosmos is not a giant cold box holding you. Your very essence is identical to and contiguous with the reality surrounding you. To understand how this works, we have to look at how human perception physically operates. For decades, science treated the brain like a passive camera, simply recording light and sound. Now, researchers in cognitive neuroscience understand the brain through a model called predictive processing. It is an active prediction engine. The brain generates a top-down simulation, sending predictions downwards, using upward-pushing sensory signals to correct errors. Notice how the boundary dissolves. In inactivism, internal neural pathways loop directly into the environment, creating a tightly coupled, porous system. You are never in direct contact with an objective outside world. You navigate a highly sophisticated internal model built entirely by your own neural architecture. This blurring of the boundary extends past biology, straight into the mathematical fabric of reality itself. Consider the geometry of fractals. Self-similarity ensures that zooming in on a tiny, localized piece of a pattern reveals the exact same structure as the whole. The mathematician Benoit Mandelbrot formalized this property, demonstrating that self-similarity is a core organizing principle of nature. On the left, a microscopic human neural network. On the right, the macro-scale cosmic web of galaxies. They are structurally identical. Pushing further, the holographic principle illustrates that an entire 3D volume's information is encoded completely on its 2D surface. At the quantum level, the state of a system doesn't exist in a definite, independent reality. Theories like relational quantum mechanics argue that physical states only take form relative to the observer measuring them. This interconnectedness means particles separated by light years remain instantly correlated, a non-local phenomenon Albert Einstein famously dismissed as spooky action at a distance. Mathematics proves localized parts contain the blueprint of the cosmos, and the observer actively constructs the observed. Strict physical separateness is scientifically inaccurate. But we don't live our lives in equations. We live them in our minds. The ancient Hindu philosophy of Advaita Vedanta identified the ultimate reality as a singular, indivisible consciousness. They taught that the Atman, the individual self, is the exact same substance as Brahman, the universal reality. What used to be a purely metaphysical assertion is now a structured operational map used in clinical therapy to heal trauma. This maps out internal family systems, or IFS. Instead of treating the psyche as a rigid block, IFS views the mind as a complex society. Notice the central self surrounded by distinct orbiting parts, like protective managers and exiles holding painful memories. When patients map this inner terrain and build trusting relationships with those internal parts, the effects do not stay locked in their heads. Their physical behaviors, their chronic pain levels, and their external relationships tangibly improve. The mind acts as a navigable, functional ecosystem. Adjusting the internal landscape actively shapes the external world you experience. Biology shows our reality is an internal simulation. Physics demonstrates the part encodes the whole. Psychology proves the inner mind is an expansive, dynamic cosmos. Cultivating mindfulness or entering therapy is often criticized as navel-gazing, a selfish retreat away from the urgent demands of the real world. But if the boundary between the subject and the object is a biological illusion, exploring your own consciousness is exploring the exact fabric of reality. You are not a solitary ego locked inside a sprawling mechanical box. You are a localized expression of the universe.